You are now tuning in to the Evolution Daily Podcast. Wah, 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 wah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Evolution Daily Podcast. I am back with everybody's favorite guest. Hadia, people tell me that you are their favorite guest. I've heard that on several occasions, like 10 different times probably.
Thank you. That's nice to hear. Thank you. I love it.
Yeah.
I love you and your people. Our people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's just...
Actually, a lot of your people are my clients, and I love working with my clients, with you guys. Amazing.
Yeah. And guys, if you are new here and you don't know who Hadia is, Hadia, you are a spiritual counselor, right?
Yes.
First and foremost.
Yeah, spiritual counselor, life coach, fulfillment coach. Yep.
Yeah.
I help. Actually, most of my clients are young men that come really through you, Aaron, when we do the podcast and sign up because they want to have a better life, better dating life, better finances, and I support you in that and teach you tools for life to succeed in your life.
Yeah. And you know, Hadia and I, we met years ago, and it's been a while ago. It's been a while now.
Yes, time flies.
Yeah. And I've done a lot of coaching myself with Hadia, and you know, for me, I've really viewed it very strongly as performance coaching for myself in a lot of ways, where we all have these, I think, subconscious mental barriers, subconscious limiting beliefs. You've really helped me to identify patterns in my life that stemmed from behaviors I began at age 8, behaviors I began at age 10, and that you don't even recognize, but just in the same way that you start drinking coffee every morning, and before you know it, the first thing you must do is just go to the coffee, and you don't even think of it. There's no thought of, will I have coffee today? No, you're just going to have coffee. And so you start these behaviors and these patterns, and then the problem then is that they started when you were 8 or 10, and then they carry into 31, and before you know it, you're doing, you're hurting an important female in your life, or a friendship, or you're lashing out at somebody in the way that you felt you had to when you felt unsafe at that age. And so, Hadia, you've really helped me a lot to identify those patterns. And that's really the first step, is identifying them. That's the first step in halting them, because now you build consciousness around it. And so I've been able to look and through a lot of the coaching we've done, I've been able to, in an event that's uncomfortable, a breakup, a friend saying something shitty to me, a business rejection, a rejection from a girl, something like that, I've been able to look and say, wait, you're about to default to what you've been doing for the last 25 years. No. We're past that now. It's time to grow up. Yeah. And so I think that that's been incredibly helpful for me.
Yeah, emotional maturity, it's not talked about enough. Emotional maturity is really important and valuable, as we get older. And I think you still see this. I still see it. It doesn't matter how old the person is. A lot of people in their 60s and even 80s, in some areas in their life, they would be emotionally immature. And usually it's the areas of the matter of the heart. Like, most people want to date, want to have relationships, want to be around the opposite sex or the sex that they're attracted to, but they're emotionally immature around it. It's important to work on your emotional maturity, that you're not acting like a 5-year-old around someone you're attracted to. You're acting the age that you are and in the moment. So that's, and you're saying, you said, becoming mature. Emotional and mental maturity is really important, because all of us can do the right actions, but if we're emotionally immature, we're not going to get the results that we want.
And something that's coming to mind, um, as you say that, is that you said acting in relationships when you were young, now the way that you were when you were younger, always having that emotional immaturity. And I've never really thought of this until now. I think this would maybe be a good discussion. Is I think that even so, for what I'm teaching my guys, what so many guys are watching now, they want to approach.
Mm-hmm.
They want to go out into the world, see beautiful women, and they want to be able to talk to them
Yes.
and whatever they want, whether it's having sex, relationships, combination of both, get married, whatever. I've had all sorts of clients. And if you think about it, that emotional immaturity that you're talking about, even that stemmed from maybe middle school, maybe before, where there you were. Maybe you weren't thinking about sex yet, maybe you were, but cute girl in class, cute Whitney. Whitney's so pretty. She's so pretty. I want to talk to her. Oh, but I can't because da 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 da. And so all these situations where you wanted to tell a girl you like her, you wanted to tell a crush, you wanted to ask a girl to the school dance, all these things when you are still a teenager and below, a child, or your brain is nowhere near fully developed, that carries with you. And so now when you have a fully developed brain, you've gotten into self-development, you have a career, you have access to the gym, you have access to this world around you, and you still choose to live in that state, the same state you were in when you were 10 years old,
Yes.
that is emotional immaturity in a lot of ways.
It is emotional maturity. Like, I don't know if you remember boys when they liked a girl, boys in, like you said, 5-year old, they would go kick the girl, right? Or push her because they liked
Yeah.
her or pull her hair. And and that's why I think young men freeze because that's not an appropriate reaction. You can't walk up to a girl and pull her hair because you like her and drag her to the
Mm.
cave, right?
You gotta
Um,
wait. You gotta wait till the bedroom for that. Yeah.
exactly. So our first reaction to life is usually from our first experience in life when we were young. And that's what you got to change.
Mm.
You got to update yourself. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
5 anymore. I can't walk up to a girl and pull her hair and to let her know that I like her or kick her. And consciously, people know this. That's why they don't do it. But then they freeze because they don't know what else to do. And the thing to
Mm-hmm.
do is learn to be emotionally mature with your reactions and interactions with women, if that's what you're into, with the people that you are attracted to and interested in. And it is learning. All of us have to actually unlearn what we learned when we were young and learning new tools, new things, new ways to show up. And that's what I love of what you do. You teach these young men how to approach, how to talk to women. All of us need support. We need to, because nobody taught us these things. They didn't teach us in school how to communicate with each other. They
Mm-hmm.
they should have, but they didn't.
That's very interesting that you say that because they don't teach it at all, not even slightly.
Exactly. They don't teach us communication with the like sit down, listen. What do you feel? Some schools do actually. There's a school in Culver City here in California called Play Mountain. They do teach, but it's only one school, right? Most
Mm-hmm.
schools don't teach that. It's like just sit down, be quiet, listen to the teacher, don't talk to each other. They teach us not to talk to each other, right?
True. Yeah.
Johnny, stop talking. I'm gonna separate you two. I remember my niece when she was in kindergarten. She was so close to this boy Jack. They loved each other. They even looked like siblings, and they would sit next to each other. And finally, the teacher separated them. So right there, right
Mm.
then, they both were taught to be scared of each other. It was a boy and a girl, right? And that's not good. So in that moment, the
Mm-hmm.
teacher taught them boys and girls are not good for each other and let's separate you. So they were
Yeah.
taught not to talk, not to communicate. How unfortunate. Instead of the teacher should have been delighted that these two little innocent kids came together, loved each other, were delighted to see each other and hang out. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, yeah, it is. Y- Yeah, and I think that there needs to be a lot more of people having conversations with themselves.
Yes.
I feel like I don't really bring it up enough, but for me, journaling is still a massive part of my life. I'm writing in these notebooks every day. I journal all the time. I talk out loud to myself a lot of times.
I
I
do too.
mean,
I
and
have been for years
yeah,
since I was
yeah,
12.
for sure. Yeah,
I think
you
you've
know,
got to
and
hear yourself because conversations in our head, it's like we don't really hear ourselves, but when you speak out loud, you're hearing what's actually going on. It is
well,
okay
and
to have loud conversations. Go ahead.
yeah, and what I think is really the detriment of maybe our entire society right now is addiction to social media.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's worse than porn addiction. I think it's worse than drugs. I think it's worse than just about absolutely everything. And it's a conversation that a lot of people are not really willing to have. And I think you even have voices where they have vested interest in you being on social media, saying that, oh, it's just about it's you got to have you just got to have self control. You've just got to be disciplined with it and whatever. And it's like, yeah, that's great, but when you're 8 years old and now you're starting off in social media, and so the point that I'm making here is that a lot of times when you should be having conversations with yourself, when you are really down about situations in life, when you're feeling completely stuck in your life, and you should be saying out loud, "Okay, dude, all right, let's talk about this. You're
Yes.
really fucking pissed right now. You're really stressed right now. How did we get here? Well, 6 years ago, you said you were going to go back to school for this. 4 years ago,
Right.
you said you were going to do this. You've been watching game videos for forever. You said you were going to go out and start meeting women. You haven't done any of that. And you have to have these conversations with yourself, and instead what happens is you go to work all day where you have conversations with others all day, so you're getting told things, you have to do things all day, tasks, things to focus on, and as soon as you get home, it's just straight to Instagram, over to TikTok, over to Facebook, over to the online dating app, ding 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 all day long, and before you know it, you go to bed, and you've never had a moment really of introspection throughout the day until all that erupts is frustration at your life circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's going to erupt because you get on social media, huge influencer, millions of followers, really hot chick, huge influencer with a Lamborghini, really hot chick, until eventually now it is 9 p.m. You're getting tired and you're just like, fuck, like, you just have frustration. And so these conversations need to be had with yourself where you are identifying even your own in yourself, this emotional immaturity, this
Mm-hmm.
this and even just the physical actions that you've taken that have gotten you to where you are, and asking yourself, okay, I'm only 35, I'm only 40. Can I be a completely different person by 36 or 41? Yeah, I can. I can be like in a completely
Yes.
different place in 1 year.
And self-awareness. What you're talking about is having self-awareness. It's important to have self-awareness. And then talking to yourself is actually it's a tool called self-counseling. Because all of us have different aspects of ourselves. We have a self that is wisdom, intuition, and then we also have a self that is critical, criticizing, putting us down, telling us we're no good. So what it's a tool called self-counseling. You're having a conversation with those parts of you that is wise and motivating you. It's like, okay, Aaron, are you still going to be here for the next 10 years or are you going to do something about this? Self-counseling. It's a good tool. Use it. I'm so proud of you that you do this.
Oh yeah, and again, it's like I don't even really talk about it much, but it's something that I'm huge on and have been really for years. Even before I started doing deep work and shit, I have old notebook before game, before anything. I have old notebooks of me just like writing about what I'm really frustrated about right now, and what my and this new business plan that I have, and this app I want to start, and just stuff like that. It's very important. And here's another thing too. And this is so fucking key. Guys need to be their own cheerleader.
Yep.
You have to. I tell this story about who I assume that this guy was an OSU football player, potentially a basketball player, but it was I was sitting on my porch at my old place, and this black guy came around the corner, no shirt, he's jacked, and he's drenched in sweat. He's just covered in sweat. He clearly just went on like a run or something, and he is just walking down the street. He's got big headphones on, and he's like, "This is your year, motherfucker. This is your motherfucking year." And
Right.
I'm pretty sure he said like, "This is your fucking season. Nobody can take this from you. Nobody."
Yeah.
And and it amped me the fuck up. I was like, "Holy shit." And I've been doing this for years with game and with everything. I've been amping myself up because my brain wants to default to being a fucking pussy. My brain wants to default. I don't want to go to the gym ever. I'm not one of these psychos that loves working out. It makes me feel amazing. No, I hate it. Sorry. I hate it. I never want to run. I never want to go to the gym. I've had times where it was really hard for me to get out into the field. And so I have to and no one genuinely cares if I do it or not.
Right.
My mom's going to love me. My parents are going to love me. Everyone's going to love. I'm fine if I'm very overweight, not going to the field and broke. I'm still going to get love. No one really cares. So I have to be the one to be like, "You're fucking going today, dude. Let's go. Let's fucking get this done." And guys don't have that intensity with themselves.
Self-motivation is very important, and cheerleading. And also what you're talking about is also, Aaron, contrary action, contrary thinking, contrary feeling. And that's also where I talk about emotional maturity a lot, because not a lot of people do, and I repeat myself. It's important to hear things over and over and over again. It's like, I know you do affirmations, right? Just take one affirmation that motivates you and helps you. Like, this is my year. I'm doing this. I'm going to the gym. I feel like crap. I'm getting up anyways. Contrary action. And I'm going to drag myself to the gym anyways. I'm going to go talk to that girl anyways, you know? And it's like you can use it as what do you call that? An icebreaker. I'm so nervous. You're so beautiful. I'm so nervous. Can I just say hi to you? And she would laugh, right? So
Right.
so self and call yourself out, like bring joy to your hardships. It's okay to not want to get out of bed. Be okay with it. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel deflated. It's okay, and do it anyways, right? And that's what you
Yeah.
do in your life. You get out, you're like, okay, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to go do it anyways.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's yeah, people are always looking towards the outside to get motivation. Motivational videos, motivational content. Maybe you're listening to this podcast right now to get motivation. And it's good. You can get motivation from the outside, but ultimately what it actually has to be doing is really just feeding your internal motivation.
Yes.
Otherwise, you fall into the trap that so many people fall into, which is they just watch this content forever. Motherfuckers have been watching Tony Robbins content for 20 years, and they ain't made any progress.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very
So you,
true.
so you can't fall
You
into
gotta
that
go.
trap.
You gotta go within. Like, find your home is inside yourself. Your home is in your mind and your subconscious mind and in your heart. You gotta connect to who you truly are and get to know yourself. And as you said, you got to. It's I call it reparenting yourself. That's another tool. you know After a certain age, and our parents didn't. Most parents were busy. Some people are lucky enough that they have parents that are like, oh, you're so great, you're so wonderful, you're going to be great in life. Most people don't have that. Their parents are so busy, they're just trying to survive, right? Most of us didn't have that. So you got to be that for yourself. And it is
Yep.
the most amazing thing is when you start treating yourself in the most amazing, kind, loving, compassionate way, accepting where you're at, looking where you want to go, and doing action steps. This is where the life coaching comes in. You got to do it in action. Your life is not
Mm-hmm.
going to change if you just do affirmations, listen to podcasts, visualizing. All that stuff is good. And you got to change your mind, your feelings, and your actions. Get into action. What is the action I'm going to take today? I'm going to commit to getting up at 7 o'clock every morning and meditate. Meditation, just have quiet time. 5 minutes is valuable. 5 minutes in the morning before you do anything else. Check in with yourself. How does my body feel? What are my thoughts? If you start listening to your thoughts, you'll notice that most of our thoughts are negative and they're not useful and they're not helpful to us.
These guys they gotta stay off social media for at least 30 minutes in the morning.
I agree.
No
Even
phone. No phone. You
yes,
cannot do it. It's gotta end. And I have, I've been talking to there's these patterns that I've been really seeing come up, and I harp about it a lot, so I'm not going to right now. But a big one that I've been seeing come up so much is weed addiction.
yes.
And everybody, weed's not addictive. Fuck you. Weed is horrifically addictive. Maybe back in the 70s when the concentration was very low, maybe it wasn't addictive. I don't know. But these kids now are smoking dab pens all day with the highest concentration you possibly can. A lot of my students and a lot of guys I talk to are very addicted to weed. That's been a major thread that I've seen. And another major one is, because I noticed this in my own life, is one of the biggest determining factors of my focus throughout the day is if I got on my phone when I first woke up. If I woke up in bed, and everyone listening to this right now, Hadia, there's like one guy that doesn't do this. All of you listening to this, you all are doing it and you fucking know it. You wake up and immediately, boom, notifications, emails, Instagram, TikTok. You lay in bed and you get on that phone right away. And so even the meditation, you don't even got to like sit on a pillow against a wall. Stay off that phone for 30 minutes while you take your shower, make your breakfast. Whatever your morning routine is now, do it without the drowning noise of a podcast or songs or TikTok or whatever the fuck. And just that, even just being with yourself for that first 30 minutes is going to align your focus for the rest of the day. And why is focus important? Because focus is what's required to do the difficult tasks in your life that are going to actually move you ahead.
So let's talk about addiction and break it down. Like that word is used a lot. But I think what people need to understand is anything is taking you away from connecting to yourself and your life is an addiction. And it can be anything. When people are gaming all day, when people are streaming all day, you get on Netflix, you're going to watch one show, but you end up watching the whole season. That's like 8 to 10 hours, people, right? That's a lot of time not living your life. If you're smoking pot and you're not out in the world, living your life, you are addicted to pot. Like people do this in relationship, usually women. When a woman falls in love with a guy, she wants to spend all of her time with him. He becomes her addiction. And that scares men, right? And the guy's like, "Well,
Yeah.
I just signed up for this." So anything that is robbing you from doing other things in your life and being alive, like going to the gym, like hanging out with friends, like eating, like people spend 12, 18 hours gaming and not eating, you're not living. You're addicted to that thing. So you can smoke pot in moderation. You can be on your phone in moderation. You can eat in moderation. You can exercise. You can do things in moderation. But most of us have addictive personalities. We like something and we're like, I just want to do that. Um, so notice what you're addicted to in your life and start cutting it down. Use living instead of addiction. Addiction is numbing and you're not alive. You're actually dead when you are in your addiction. You're not living. If you're not living, you're dead. You're breathing, you're physically alive, but you're not living your life. You're not experiencing life.
I also want to get your take on this. I've realized that a lot of people not only are they addicted to these things we talked about, so we look at why they're addicted to those things. And again, a lot of this is avoiding the conversation with yourself. And why are you avoiding the conversation with yourself? You're avoiding it because that conversation is going to be very painful. You're going to have to take ownership over your actions. You're going to have to look back at the past and maybe cry a little bit and get a little pissed off. And if you really have that conversation with yourself, you're going to have to exert a lot of energy. Because usually if you're really in a bad place, you're going to have to exert a lot of energy to get out of that bad place. And so now you have all of that going on. And then you get into a relationship. You end up with a girlfriend. And you know what a lot of guys are doing these days, and maybe it's always happened, but since I've been alive, I've noticed, is that people get relationship addiction.
Yep.
They don't just start dating a girl. They end up spending every night with her, staying at her place every night. She's staying at your place every night. They're falling into relationship addiction as well. And so all of those wounds, all of that frustration, all of that dissatisfaction you were feeling before the relationship, that you were using weed and alcohol and social media, now you're in the relationship and now you're using her to also drown all that out. And so you're just with her all the time, all day, every day. And that's how you end up moving into sibling syndrome, where you go from passionate lovers to siblings.
Yeah.
And now you've built up such an addiction to her. And guess what? Weed will never leave you. Alcohol will never leave you, but she can fucking leave you. And that's how you end up in horrific life. I know guys that are still, and this is not to judge, but I've had students where like they're talking about this relationship 5 years ago that they're still wrecked from. Like every day they think about her and how it could have went different and shit. And it's like they were addicted to that relationship and to that woman.
Exactly. And you didn't take care of yourself. Addiction doesn't take care of you. People go, oh, pot makes me feel better. It calms me down. I don't feel depressed. You're not living. You're not feeling anything. It's not taking care of you. The relationship with that girl is not taking care of you. And it becomes toxic. She doesn't want a sibling. She wants a man. She wants a relationship. She wants to do things and to grow together. So this is why it hurts.
I was just going to say.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
The reason it hurts because you are numbing yourself and the breakup woke you up and you got in touch with the pain and the pain doesn't feel good. But you know what? It's a lesson. That's it. That's the thing I was sharing with a client. People come into our life for lessons. People think, "Oh, I'm going to be married for the rest of till death do us part." That's bullshit. You know, it's bullshit. It's like people come into our lives to help us heal, grow, and learn. If you're not learning in your relationships, you're not in a relationship. You're pretending. Our partners trigger us because we're meant to grow. We're meant to mature. Say thank you. If somebody upsets you, instead of being mad at them, say thank you. Take responsibility. Because when you're upset at them, you're acting like a victim. Like they just victimized you. None of us are victims. Be a victor in your life. Take responsibility. Say thank you and be like, okay, I'm triggered. Where is this coming from? What is this bringing up for me? What do I need to let go of? It's an opportunity to let go of the things that no longer serve you, the things that are not good for you, the unconscious patterns that you've been playing out in your life that are not helping you. So every time you get triggered by anything, somebody cuts you off, you get pissed off, instead of getting pissed off, say, thank you, I'm upset. What is this triggering inside of me? When you take responsibility for how you're feeling and what you're thinking and your actions, you are a victor in your life. But if you don't take responsibility and you blame them and you're upset, you're a victim and nothing changes. Nothing moves.
Yeah, and another thing about being the victim versus the victor is that a lot of men, I believe that men don't get mad enough, actually. I don't think that they're angry enough. And so to elaborate on that, I think that a major key in success in life and anything is using anger to fuel you for a time. Not
Yes.
forever. I know that can lead destructively like after years and years, but the problem, everybody loves the story. Everyone loves the celebrity that talks about how badly they got bullied. Everyone loves
Right.
the celebrity. Everyone loved Christina Aguilera talking about how they made fun of her at her high school prom and she left early and and she just got like relentlessly bullied. And everyone's like, wow, and look what she made of herself. For every Christina Aguilera, there's a million people that got bullied that they never did anything with their life. They never got the revenge. They never used that to say, fuck all of you. I'm going to be something. I'm going to make something of my life. And so being the victim is being angry, being upset, being sad, and not doing anything about it. And being
Yeah.
the victor is every man needs a period of, what would the word be? It's not just revenge. It's like self-propulsionary revenge. Where, like, seriously, you have to literally look at bullies and people who have wronged you and that boss that fired you for no reason and all this shit. And you've got to say, hey, back to what we were saying earlier, what did I do wrong? And even if I didn't do anything wrong, what did I keep allowing people to do to me?
Yes.
That girl that destroyed me, how did that happen? I was such a good boyfriend. I did everything. But what did I allow her to do to me? I allowed
Yes.
her to walk all over me in these different times. I allowed her to not show appreciation for the gifts I gave her. I allowed her to kind of be a little sketchy and be out and not text me when she said she was with whoever, like things like that. So a lot of guys just need to, a part of personal responsibility is getting very angry and taking massive action fueled by that anger. So just for a lot of people listening, a lot of guys listening to this right now, they're deeply frustrated with their sex life, their romantic life. It's non-existent. They don't feel worthy to even go after it in any capacity. And you have to take that frustration. You have to say, I'm fucking pissed. I'm fucking angry. I'm so mad. And I'm going to go do something about it. I'm so pissed that I'm not happy with my body. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to fucking go talk to these girls tonight. I'm going to try something. I'm going to take this fucking boot camp. I'm going to fucking go crazy until I'm able to hook up with some hot chicks.
Yeah. The best revenge is success and happiness. And as you said, and I share this with my clients, you know this, I teach you about how natural forest fire, anger is a fuel. And some people use anger to destroy themselves and everything that they built. Instead of using it to build their life, they use it to destroy themselves. And be careful of that. Like you take anger and you start lashing out at people. And this is an extreme. Not everybody does this, but before you know it, you're a felon in jail because you attacked someone, right? That's the extreme. But the other part of it, people are so scared of their anger that they shut themselves down and then they numb themselves with their addictions, whether it's smoking, whether it's streaming, whether it's drinking, whether it's sleeping. Stop numbing yourself and use your anger, like you said, Aaron, to fuel you. It fuels you to give you energy to get your things done, not destroy you. It's like having um, fire. The fire can destroy the city, or you can use fire to cook a meal, right? So cook a meal with your fire.
I love that. I like that. Yeah. How do you?
Yeah.
I think that I have a really good question for you. I think that when we're looking at a lot of men who are struggling to live the life that I'm really trying to help men live, where they're social, they're hooking up with chicks, or they have an amazing relationship, and maybe they're starting a business and going to the gym, and they're living a great life. Well, I think that on a very deep level, one of the biggest things that is actually holding guys back is a feeling of insignificance.
Right?
Why
Not enough.
me? It ain't me. I'm not, no, I'm not that guy. I'm not going to be that guy. There's all those other guys. I'm not that guy. I'm not that dude. I'm not significant. How do you help somebody if they were to just truly say to you, I just feel completely insignificant. I just don't. I just feel like I've never been respected. Nobody really cares about me that much. If the world would be okay if I was gone, I'm insignificant. How would you kind of address that and try to help them see their significance in the grand scheme of things?
So there's layers to this. How much time do we have? I will cover a few things. The first thing that comes to mind, a few things, but I'm not. It's not in that order. But you got to have compassion for feeling not worthy, insignificant. Have compassion and accept it, and then you got to allow yourself to feel that insignificance. That's the first few things, and then make a list of the things that you are significant at. All of us are significant. Change your mind. Make these are different things you can do. Make up your mind that you are worthy. It's really sometimes it's as simple as making a decision. I'm going to decide right now that I am worthy, that I am significant. And then you start behaving as though. You cannot fix a problem going into the problem. You can't say I'm insignificant and try to be not significant, right? You got to make up your mind. You could do the opposite. I am worthy. That's it. You just make a decision. It's like you've heard these stories. People smoke for years and one day they make a decision they're not going to smoke anymore. They smoke their last cigarettes, put it out and that's it and they never turn back. It's a decision. That's all it takes. And sometimes you have to make that decision over and over all day throughout the day. Every time you hear your mind, some people call it monkey mind, but your subconscious mind that's used to telling you and your ego, you're not enough, you're not worthy, you got to say, thank you, no, 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 I am worthy. So you keep working on that over and over. And then your actions, you got to do action steps to prove to yourself that you are worthy. If people treat you badly, it's because you treat yourself badly. If people take advantage of you because you do not allow yourself to be worthy in your life, like look at what you wear, look at your room, look at how you treat your body, look at how you treat your thoughts. What are you feeding your mind, right? And the world responds to how we take care of ourselves or lack of it. If you go into your
Mm-hmm.
home and your home is a mess, people are going to, even though they don't know, they've never been in your home, they will treat you like that because you're showing up undeserving. If
Mm-hmm.
you feel worthy, you clean up your life little by little, your finances. A lot of people don't do well with money because they don't care about themselves. They spend more than what they have. Usually when people get paid, usually the first 2 days, they spend their paycheck. That's not self-caring. That's not living a worthy life. A person who cares about themselves, they care about their finances because money provides for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I think yeah, I think you said it perfectly, and I think that also you need to. I think guys need to zoom in, right? So when you're zoomed out, presidents, celebrities, the Paul brothers, they got all the models, the Dan Bilzerian, like all the multi-million, whatever. But then when you zoom in, it's like, you know, I could just think of maybe somebody in my family, right? Like let's just say like one of my parents or something. If they zoom out, they're in the grand scheme of the world, they're insignificant. If I zoom out, I'm insignificant in the grand scheme of the world. But when you zoom in and I look at my parent, one of my parents, they're so significant. They have significance in our family and the life that they've given me and my brother and our family. And so I think that when you're zooming out and you're viewing yourself in comparison to the rest of the world, it's like, how can I find significance on the micro? And so something that's coming to mind that I've not really ever thought of this, but I think maybe if I was truly at that place where my life was shit, I had a job I didn't like, I was super unsatisfied with everything, and I felt very insignificant, maybe volunteering is a
Yeah.
really good thing to do for your soul. Volunteering at the animal shelter, at the soup kitchens, I'm sure there's websites where it's like 100 things you can volunteer for this weekend. And going and being significant to something and somebody for even some moments and helping others, even if it's totally selfish, even if you're like, because I want to fuck a lot of girls, so I need to feel significant. Who cares? Who cares? Doing something that actually is significant to other people. I think that a lot of guys maybe go through long periods of life without really ever helping or assisting anybody at anything. And so I think if you're able to do that, even that could really grant you some sort of seeing of like, wow, this person told me I really helped them today, or really made their day, or all these little doggies that needed scrubbed, and look how nice they looked after their bath after coming in off the street. And I think that is really good for the soul. Fuck, I want to like go volunteer at an animal shelter now.
It is good and it gives you self-esteem. I mean, I when I was young, I grew up in a family they taught us to volunteer and give back and tithe 10% of our income. And I know a lot of people don't think about that. But when you do these things, you're telling your basic self, you're telling yourself that I can, I have value, and I'm showing up. People that volunteer feel confident that they have value and they're giving back. People that give 10%, 10% is really not a lot of money. It's 10 cents on the dollar. It's a
Mm,
dollar out of 10. It's $10 out of 100, you know?
mm,
And you don't necessarily have to give it to a nonprofit. I choose to give it to people who need it that I know, because most of us, our finances are up and down. I choose to, when I put that money aside, and when there's a homeless person, I don't give them a dollar. I buy them a meal or I take them grocery shopping. I'm like, come on, what do you need? And that's part of my tithing. And it makes me feel good. And it's also telling me that I trust myself. I trust my ability to make money. And that's, you gotta, to feel valuable and significant, you gotta start trusting yourself and your ability to take care of your life, to take care of you by doing basic things like showering, brushing your teeth, combing your hair, making sure your clothes are clean, basic stuff, cleaning your home, your car, and having clear communication and boundaries with yourself first. You tell yourself, no,
mm,
I'm not going to stream for 8 hours. I'm not going to finish this series today. If you do eight, watch four and cut it down little by slow. And
mm,
it's okay to take your time. And it's okay to retreat. And it's okay to rest. The other thing that we don't do, when you are in addiction, you're not resting. It's actually one of the main reasons people are depressed and anxious, because we don't rest. You got to rest. You need downtime. If you're streaming and gaming all day, you're not, it's, people go, this is how I just take care of myself. You're not taking care of yourself because your body is overly exhausted. Your thoughts
mm,
are overly exhausted because you're always doing something. You need to rest. You need to go within, either through taking naps, meditating, going for walks without anything. No music. Just be present with your breath, with your heartbeat. Rest time. Successful
mm,
people spend 5 minutes, not all of them, some of them, out of every hour just doing nothing. And it
mm,
rejuvenates them and it energizes them. 5 minutes out of 60 minutes is nothing. For most people, they can't sit for 30 seconds to do nothing.
mm,
And I invite you to take that on. 5 minutes out of every hour. Okay, not when you're sleeping, obviously, waking hours.
Yeah,
And it will
yeah.
change your life. It really will change your life. And you're like, well, I work, go to the bathroom, sit for 5 minutes on the toilet,
Mm,
and rest your mind, rest
yeah.
your thoughts, rest. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, no, I think that's powerful, and I think that even for men, I think that cold approach pickup, going out and like actually talking to a lot of girls. I think you can discover yourself in silence, which I've chosen to do. I just did another cabin retreat with no technology. I did
Yeah.
another 3 days with no stimulus. I've done a couple of those now. This time was a little different. I did have stimulus. I brought a girl with me. So it was not as deeply introspective as the last time when I was completely alone. But whatever. It broke me off of technology and out of work, and I was able to, as an entrepreneur, my mind is just constantly running about work. I'm never off. So now when I didn't have a laptop, a phone, and I couldn't work, it did allow me to rest that part of my mind because it's like,
Mhm.
fuck, well, I can't do anything. Oh, I should make this video right now. No, I can't do anything. But I also think that a lot of men need to be discovering themselves. Here's what it is, right? Everyone's living in the middle ground. So the way to discover yourself is either on your end that you're discussing here, total silence, everything we talked about of like staying off of your fucking social media addiction, being just totally with yourself and having these conversations. That's one spectrum. And then the other spectrum is through massive action. And the
Yeah.
problem is that everybody is living in the in between where there's no silence, there's no conversation with yourself, there's no deep introspection or meditation, there's none of that. And then there's no massive action either. There's just the middle ground where you're always just doing. You're always just doing some, just doing. And so you never are on either end of the spectrum. And that's where the magic is. It's on either of those two polarities. And I want to say this too, when it comes to significance and what you talked about, you've been very big on this ever since I've known you, where you talk about how with self-love, you have to now actually, even if you're not feeling it yet, even if truly at your core, you're like, no, I fucking hate myself, I'm a piece of shit. But you've got to now start doing the actions of somebody that loves themselves.
Hmm.
And so that is not living in a fucking pigsty, cleaning the shit out of your room, making sure your kitchen is nice and clean, deciding, oh, they say eating healthy is so expensive. No, it's not. Eating unhealthy is way more expensive. Ordering that fucking pizza on Uber Eats with the delivery and the fee and everything, that was $20. $20 is a lot of healthy food. That's 2 pounds of ground beef and a loaf of Ezekiel bread. I mean,
Yeah.
so you can't say that it's unhealthy, or I'm sorry, that it's expensive. And I think that the way you dress is huge.
Yeah.
Huge. And perfect example of this, last night, for the first time ever, so I've worn a suit out like a couple other times in my life, but last night, I decided recently that I'm going to be a suit guy. I'm going to wear a lot of suits. So I bought this navy blue suit. It looks fucking phenomenal. And I bought matching blue. Actually, they're right here. I'm just going to put them on for a second. I bought these, just matching blue shades to go with the
Oh,
suit.
nice.
And I wore the blue suit with these glasses last night out at the clubs all night. There was a couple other people in a suit. They were with girls in nice dresses. They clearly just came from maybe a wedding, something like that. But in this whole sea of people, that was all, jean jackets and looking fresh, looking good. I'm the only motherfucker in a suit and these glasses. And I am telling you right now, the amount of attention I got when I first got out there was giving me anxiety. I mean,
Wow.
I was getting anxious because you can
Yeah.
go out and you can just blend in with the world. If I just wore this, I wouldn't get that much attention. But literally, as soon as I get out there, dudes are like, bro, sick fucking suit, man. Oh, dude, can I try on those sunglasses? girls are like, "What are you dressed up for? Did you just come back from away?" Immediately, I'm getting kind of like swarmed a little bit. I'm like, "Oh shit!" But then I adjusted to it and I got used to it. And then just as the night went on, I swear to God, like everyone treated me so different,
Yeah.
and with and I received, I think, like the craziest amount of respect I think
Yeah.
I had ever received. Just little things, even just little things where like, we're in these packed bars where you gotta like slide by people sometimes. I felt like more people were getting out of my way. It
Yeah.
was noticeable. People like a dude kind of like glances over and like, "Oh, go ahead, bro, go ahead." Like I just felt like everyone was, girls that I was talking to, every group of girls I talked to was like very receptive, very just like you look like Tony Stark. I got that a bunch of times. Like, what are you, Tony Stark? And so if right now you're this guy that feels so low about yourself, and so because of that you're wearing the baggy t-shirt and the jeans that don't really fit, and you don't really like go buying new clothes because you don't love how you look and whatever, get a suit. And I'll be straight up. The suit that I got, and actually, for anybody, I need to write this down so I don't forget. For anybody that makes it this far in the podcast, I'm just going to link to the suit that I got. It was $70. $70. You have to have your own undershirt. It didn't come with the undershirt, but the jacket, the pants, everything was $70. Link to suit. But so if you're that guy wearing those baggy clothes, not feeling good ever, about yourself, and so your dress reflects that, your lack of grooming reflects that, your hair reflects that. Put on a fucking suit, groom up, shave up, and just go walk through the world and kind of see the way that people will treat you differently. And so then recognize. So then this is where I think this all culminates into the deeper part here, is recognize that even if you didn't do deep inner work, right?
Yeah.
You didn't spend years loving yourself, or even years in the field, all this stuff. You didn't have to go through all that, but just by the mere fact that you dress yourself like someone that respects themselves, now look at the way the world will respond to that.
It's true.
It's so powerful.
Yeah, I learned this years ago. I don't know where I learned it from. When I would feel really, really bad, I dressed up really, really nice and I made myself go out in the world. People were like, "Wow, you look so beautiful. Where are you going?" I'm like, "I don't know."
Yeah, I'm just walking the dog.
Exactly. Go to the mall. Uh, but acting as if little by slow, I started feeling better. But if I stayed home, dressing like a from whatever, and I would have felt worse and worse and worse. And we spiral down. You can either, it's a choice. You either spiral up or spiral down. It's up to you. This is where awareness and consciousness is important. Get conscious about your thoughts and your decisions. I don't know, scientists have done this research. I don't know how many decisions a day, like thousands of decisions we have to make every minute or something. Have you heard
I've
about this?
heard this. It's like something insane. It's a crazy
Yeah,
number. Yep.
it is a crazy number. It's like we're
Yeah.
constantly needing to make decisions. And I invite you to be conscious of your, I mean, obviously I can't, I don't think any of us can be conscious of how fast we make fast decisions. There's like thousands, whatever. But be conscious of the important decisions that you make about your life. You are making decisions all the time. If you choose to not get out of bed, that is a decision. Some people go, "Well, I can't help it." You're acting like a victim. Act like a victor. Act as if. Get out of bed, and you can help it if you make that conscious choice. Be conscious of your thoughts, your feelings, and your choices. And choose to be, like Aaron, you said, your own cheerleader. Cheer yourself on. Choose to do good for yourself. You have the power to choose. None of us are victims. We act like it, but we're not, because we have the freedom to choose. People go, "Well, I'm angry. I can't help it." You can. You can use your anger, choose to use your anger to fuel you, empower you, and set you free, to motivate you. Anger energy is very, very powerful. We talked about this. I'm repeating, and it's worth hearing again. Your anger is a fuel. Use it to empower you, to free you, and act as
Yes.
if.
Yeah.
Act as if. And I love that you're dressing nice. I dress
Yes.
nice in my videos and people comment, "Wow, I love your clothes." Like, thank you. It makes me feel good. I have tons of clothes.
Mm-hmm.
My people go, "Why do you dress nice?" I'm like, "'Cause I have them. I have the clothes. Why do I
Yeah.
keep them in the closet? Why not? You know? Why is it that we can only dress nice when you're going out? I dress nice every day. I wake up, I put on nice clothes because I deserve it, and I have them. I'm not gonna just not use my clothes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Makes no sense,
Yeah. It
right?
felt it felt really good dressing like that last night.
You looked like a
And I
baller. People treated you like a baller, right?
people were like what did you dress up for? And I'm like, I'm just into crypto. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just like a crypto guy, so I've been dressing better. You know,
I
like
love
just stupid
I
shit.
love
Yeah,
I love You're
yeah,
dressed
just
up,
having fun with it.
care for yourself. You love yourself, you care for yourself because you are valuable and you are worthy of looking good. Taking
Right.
care of
Right.
changes our feeling about us ourselves and our attitude.
Well, and even little stuff. It's like I'm just wearing a plain white sweatshirt. I love this sweatshirt. It's plain white. It's nice. But there's something very different also with just putting the watch on. If I'm just
Yeah.
out in the world, this kind of looks different and better when I've got the watch on with it. And
Right.
something I remember Alpha Chad and I, Hunter, that we talked about on a podcast once. We kind of were both like having this really good conversation that was like a cool breakthrough. We were talking about how if you think about it, fashion, accessories, these things, your necklace, my watch, the choosing of the clothing, you're decorating yourself.
Yes.
And what do you decorate? Do you put art on the wall of your dingy shithole apartment in the slums? Fuck no. Those walls are going to be plain or have a stupid poster on the wall. When you get a really nice apartment, you want all of a sudden you're like, I think I want to put a shelf here with some nice stuff and a painting, and I want this place to look nice because it's nice. So when you decorate yourself, you are saying I am worthy of the decoration.
Yes. And when we peacock, people go, "Wow." When we see a peacock, people are mesmerized. And
Yep.
peacock your life. Yes, you deserve it. You deserve to peacock, even if you're not doing anything significant. People. I don't know if you know this. People buy china, and they only use it like for occasions. No, if you spent the time and the money for something valuable, put it on. And I love that you have a nice watch. Like some men invest money. If they wear glasses, they have different kinds of glasses. It becomes an accessory and
Yeah.
watches and rings, you know? And I love that you do the watches and the glasses. Yes. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun
It
and it's
was
a
it
choice.
was so crazy wearing these
I
out last
love
night.
it. You look so
It was
good.
so awesome.
You look hot.
It was
You
so
look
awesome.
hot.
And then some girls were like talking shit to me too cuz when you dress like that, you're not only going to attract all good attention, you're also going to
Yeah.
attract like who the fuck do you think you are kind of attention.
Yeah.
And so girls would be like, "Oh, what are the sunglasses for? Is it just like so bright in here?" And there's this new documentary called The Tinder Swindler that's very popular right now. And
Uh-huh.
throughout The Tinder Swindler, he keeps talking about how he's got a lot of enemies and he has to hide from his enemies. So that's what I kept saying. I was like, I got a lot of enemies. I can't really be seen too much in public.
I
And you
love
just
it.
got to own it. You got to own it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. And
That's
I
fun.
think, yeah, yeah. And I think this is a good place to leave it off for now.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'll be back on, Hadia. And where can people find you?
HadiaLoving.com. HAD as in dad, IALOVING. HadiaLoving.com. You can sign up for your sessions. I do introductory session for $50 right now, and
Hmm.
that could change in the future. It's for right now. Um, yeah, come let me support you. Support your life like I support Aaron's life and other people. I can't name names. Aaron gives me permission to say he's my client, which is very gracious and generous of you. I appreciate it. Um, Let me support you. Live your best life. Have fun. Make money. if you're into whatever you're into. Lots of girls, lots of whatever.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
do this.
and the coaching that I've done with you has been, you've really supported me through some very difficult times and really, I think, assisted in the process of me coming out much stronger and better from those times through, I think, giving me a lot of clarity on different issues and life situations where there is no clarity when it's just your own thoughts bouncing around in your own head. And so now you're allowed to it's almost as if you're in your own apartment and you think it's storming out and you think there's rain and dark clouds and it's fucking negative 20 degrees or something, but then you step outside of the brain of the apartment and you realize, oh, it's like actually sunny out here and it's not going to rain until later. And so it's kind of like that where you just are one perspective, and so you're not going to get anywhere with your limited perspective. So I feel like you've really helped me to broaden my perspective on things, which has helped me to really heal through them. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. My pleasure. It's important to have support. I have some. I do this for a living. I've been doing it for a long time, but I have support because I need it because I'm human and I'm flawed. I've got my coaches, my counselors. I actually have support every day. I don't know how people live life without emotional mental wellness support. I can't get by without it. It's very important to have your support system. Just like when you decide to work out, you hire a gym coach, you need a life coach, someone that helps you navigate your thinking. And like you said, Aaron, we get blindsided by we don't know when we don't know. But when you have someone like me, when you come and work with me, I give you different perspectives and support you in shifting from victim to victor and really living your best life. All my clients have better lives and they thank me, and it's amazing. And I'm grateful. I love
Yes.
doing this. And I love working with amazing young men. It's my favorite. You guys are my favorite. I just adore you.
Amazing.
I'm-
All
I-
right. Well, thank you, Hadia. We'll have you.
Say.
Yes, fairy
love-
godmother. Yes.
I
All right. We'll
love
see you next time, Hadia.
Guys, bye.